Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, the greatest movie ever made. It is phenomenal. It is better than any Harry Potter film, better than any Star Wars film. It's the new shiznizzle. All right, so today what I want to talk about is who is the greatest villain in Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Oh, did you say Sophina? Did you say Zastam? Right? I hear you. You're wrong. Okay, well, let's get into this. So Zastam, he's just like a cameo, right? But Sophina's doing his bidding, but she's doing the real work, right? And so let's talk about it. So yeah, I understand why you're saying Sophina. You're wrong. We're going to get to the greatest villain in 1 minute. But let's talk about Sophina, right? So Sophina is a red wizard of Fae, and she serves Zastam, right? And at the end of the film, she takes up the this red, I think it's called the Horn of the Beckoning Death, right? She takes up this red wizard horn, right? And what it does is this red wizard horn puts out it summons the Beckoning Death. It casts the Beckoning Death, and the Beckoning Death is a storm that kills everyone underneath the storm and then converts their dead bodies into zombies, right? And so Sophina's plan is to kill everyone in Neverwinter and use their dead bodies to populate her new undead army. That's a pretty good evil plan. Sophina is the second greatest villain in D&D Honor Among Thieves. Who is the greatest villain in D&D Honor Among Thieves? It's Marleman. It is Holga's ex-husband, okay? So Holga left her tribe when she fell in love with Marleman. And Marleman is a halfling, right? Now, we don't know if Holga's tribe rejected the idea of one of their, their barbarian, warriors marrying a halfling, or if they just didn't like Marleman personally, right? One or the other, right? But her tribe was like, we will exile you if you marry this dude, right? And she did. She married him, and her tribe exiled her, right? Now, once she was exiled, Holga felt terrible, right? And so Holga felt really bad about this, right? And she really missed her tribe, right? And when she goes to see, and then she falls in deep trouble. Did a lot of drinking and caused a lot of chaos, and also went into stealing, right? So she was doing a lot of bad stuff, right? While she was married to Marleman, right? So she went to prison, okay? And so she actually went to prison at Revel's End, right? Which is a Forgotten Realms political prison, right? And so she was sent to Revel's End. She's put in prison with Edgin Darvis, right? And Edgin Darvis and Holga become, actually they had become fast friends before they went to prison. But she goes to prison. And while she's in prison, Marleman sends her a letter that says he is no longer her husband, right? And so he divorces her, right? And so she goes back to see him, and he has this beautiful house, and he has a new woman who he is now. I don't think we don't know if him and Marleman and Gwyn are married or not, but he's building this new relationship with this new woman, right? Marleman is by far the greatest villain in D&D Honor Among Thieves. And I think he's a representation of the worst problem in America by far, which is divorce. All right? So let's talk about why Marleman is a villain. Okay, so Marleman, so Holga says, hey, does this woman make you happy? And he says, well, I'll tell you what. She doesn't drink herself silly, right? She's not a drunkard. Holga is straight up a drunkard in this movie. Now, I think it's clear that Holga is one of two things. She is either adventuring or she's drunk. Right? That is definitely a thing. If you pay attention, there's a lot of clues, right? that Holga is either drunk or she's adventuring. And I don't think she really drinks when she's adventuring. Now, because biggest thing is she doesn't have time, right? And it's one of the reasons why she goes on these adventures is to kind of push this demon out of her life, which is alcohol, right? For a period, right? And there are people, I know some people who like do some recreational substances, and they'll tell me they'll go on to like these a purge, there's a term for it, right? Like cold turkey, where they won't do it at all, right? Because it can kill them if they just keep going, right? You know, and so she uses adventuring to displace. I think there are multiple reasons why she adventures, but she uses adventuring to displace this demon of alcohol, right, in her life, right? But so Marleman says you drank a lot, you thieved, and he said Gwyn makes her living honestly, unlike you, right? Which was very interesting, right? And then and she doesn't make me weep in the small hours of the night. Great language, means like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., small hours. It's great language. All right, of the night, wondering where she is, all right? And I was like, nah, man, this is all you, right? Holga was not at fault, right? Holga missed her tribe, and so she went out drinking, she went out thieving, right? And she stayed out all night and wouldn't come back for days, weeks, or months. So who's the villain? Who's the bad person in that relationship? Marleman, right? And the reason why is he made a forever promise. He said, till death do us part, right? And he shouldn't have been in his comfortable bed crying when they're wearing his wife's voice. He should have been out in the dark in the middle of the forest with a lantern looking for her every night. And he should have never, ever stopped. That's love. That's what it takes to be married, right? And there have been times where my wife has come out and found me in the forest, right, virtual, when I was off wandering, right? Like, you know what I mean? And there have been times when I was out with the lantern and had to go find her, right? And we've been married for 30 years because we never stopped picking up the lantern, and neither one of us stayed ever weeped in the small hours of the night in a comfortable bed when the other one was gone, right? He gave up on her. He betrayed her. And his villainy is disgusting and absolutely horrific. He has no right to have that new life with the new woman. He had no right to turn his back on her. There should have been no end to his commitment. There should have been never a day when he stopped looking for her, when he stopped trying to get her back, right? And the day he stopped loving her, and he stopped getting the lantern, and he stopped going into the forest at night to find her, was the day he became a villain 100 times worse than Sofina. Sofina just wanted to kill an entire city, right? He betrayed the woman that he promised forever. That's villainy at the deepest level, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.